Hey guys, it's me, Eric. Today I want to make a quick video basically talking about some of the new 2016 NASCAR diecast that I've gotten so far this year. If you remember, I made a couple of these a couple years ago for 2013 and 2014, I think. I did not make one last year, and I was thinking about doing one this year, but then I got reminded by a friend of mine on Twitter that, hey, you should probably do one, and I was like, hey, that's a good idea. So, Austin, good idea. I'm kicking myself into gear and doing it right now, so let's get started. Now, I only have 14 new cars so far. I'm planning on getting more, but there's not that many out yet. There's still some that I could buy. I'm looking at it. So I'm going to be looking at 14 cars, 11 different drivers. So let's get started. First up is the 3 Dow Chevrolet of Austin Dillon. I'm going to put it right into frame. Oh, look at that. Let's see if it'll focus. There it is. That's Austin Dillon for you. It's almost an exact replica of his 2014 car that I originally had. And so it was kind of, you know, these cars are expensive. I don't like buying new ones if I don't have to, and this thing looks almost identical. So, you know, it's a nice car, but it's kind of becoming his classic scheme. I like the black and red with the 3. It makes sense. It's a good car. Now, next, since I'm going in numerical order, is the 4 of Kevin Harvick. This is his Busch car. I don't know what else to call it. And as you can see, I have not yet taken the stand off of it yet. I hate these stands with a passion. I know all of you who collect these cars do too. I finally kind of figured out how to do them. My dad helped me one year, and I think we basically use a hacksaw to get these things off now. So yeah, when I get Keselowski, whenever I have to get a Harvick car these days, always gotta do that. Hacksaw. Next up is the 5 of Kasey Kahne, the Farmers Insurance Chevrolet, and this is a pretty sweet car as well, if I might say. I still love his 2013 Farmer's car. It was a bright blue. I still love that car probably the most out of any Kasey Kahne car ever. But this is a pretty sweet one. I like the dark black and blue, and I like the little, kind of, you can't really see it very well necessarily, but the kind of the blue arrows sort of trim there next to the 5. I think that's pretty neat. Good car. I like Kasey Kahne. I hope he has a good year this year. Next up is a familiar name, but a very new paint scheme that we haven't even really seen that much this year yet in rear races. Danica Patrick's number 10 Nature's Bakery Chevrolet. That's right. In case you are completely out of the loop, GoDaddy dropped Danica after last year, so we will never be seeing the beautiful green and orange again, at least not for a while, unless they come back at some point. So we're stuck with this blue and white, but I actually like this car okay. I think it's it's not quite as recognizable as the bright green. When you saw the bright green in the back of the field, you knew that's Danica Patrick over there making a name for herself. Now you're gonna have to get used to seeing this this different looking thing out on the racetrack each week. Now next up is one of my favorite paint schemes. I did not get his car last year, and I felt so dumb for it. It's because it came out later in the year, and whenever I finally went online to buy it, it was usually out of stock or whatever, because I guess it was really popular for a good reason. This is Denny Hamlin's 2016 FedEx Express Toyota. Honestly, last year and probably this year, this might be my favorite paint scheme. Although, as I also bought this year, because again, since I felt bad that I didn't get his car last year, I also bought his FedEx Office Toyota. I love the blue and the purple together. I love the orange and the purple, honestly. Denny Hamlin's always been one of my favorite drivers, but geez, his car these last 2 years, these are some really sweet looking paint schemes. I think a lot of people would agree with me. I love the way the purple goes with the black. It's dark, but it's got a really good, just a really good look to it. So next is another one of my favorites. He's not on the racetrack right now, but it's Tony Stewart's 14 Mobil 1 Chevrolet. I love the way this car looks this year. In the past, his Mobil 1 cars have been more black and red with a little bit of blue. This one, they really ditched the black and just went red, white, and blue, and it looks really cool. I mean, you don't even have to be from America, I think, to think that this red, white, and blue looks cool. It's just a really shiny, shimmering color. Although when I went and saw this in the Sprint Unlimited, it turned into the outside wall pretty hard early on, if you remember that clip that I showed in that old video. Yeah, so it was a shame to see it get tore up on the racetrack, but it's hopefully going to look really good in the Double E Cup Series this year. So, awesome looking car. And now we got the defending 2015 champion, Kyle Busch. Now, he hasn't run this car yet in the Sprint Cup Series, but this is the M&M's, one of the M&M's 75-year anniversary cars. This isn't really the one you've been seeing him on the racetrack. He's been running that really kind of plain yellow one lately. I assume this is one he's going to run later in the season. I like this one more. It's still got the new Toyota fronts with the big black grille. On the back, it's a little bit different than in years past. Still got the classic M&M's there on the side. The yellow dude there being himself, looking really creepy. It's pretty pretty good car. I like Kyle Busch. I don't know if he's gonna repeat championship. Next, we have the 19 Eris Toyota of Carl Edwards. Last year, I got his Stanley Tools car. This year, I went ahead and got his Eris car. I liked the Stanley Tools car a lot last year. That's why I got that one. But the Eris one has actually grown on me a whole lot more, and it's kind of become his, signature, his main look for the most part. When you think Edwards these days, I think orange is kind of what you're thinking of right now. It also is almost the exact same paint scheme Daniel Suarez drives in most of the Xfinity races, at least last year. He hasn't done as much this year. They've had a lot of weird sponsors. But I really didn't know anything about Eris until he joined Edwards last year, but they make a pretty cool looking car, so big and orange. Next up is a car I was really excited to get, not only because he's my favorite driver, but because I just like this car, is Matt Kenseth's red, white, and blue made in the USA DeWalt Toyota. Last year I had his Dollar General car, obviously, which hasn't really changed to this year, and I also had his other normal DeWalt car that he only ran a couple races in last year. For the most part last season, he ran this scheme with the American flag on the side and the USA on the hood. This year, so far, the couple races he's run this is the paint scheme he's run. So I guess he's sticking with this made in the USA red, white, and blue look. It's a really cool look. I love DeWalt being back with Matt Kenseth the last 2 years. As you know, he's basically started his Cup career with DeWalt and had some of his most memorable moments with him. So did I. And it's really neat to see DeWalt on the car. I still love the black and yellow as much as ever. Next up is a rookie that you might have heard of named Chase Elliott in the 24 Napa car. I did not buy his 25 Napa car last year, as many of y'all constantly reminded me. But I did have his Xfinity car, which you might have seen in a few races and other places. But I like this car this year. I still don't like it as much as when Martin Truex Jr. used to have the Napa car. I liked his 56 car a lot, the look of that one. But this one's pretty good too, and it's obviously got the very recognizable 24 on the side. So, a lot of fans definitely on his side for sure. And next we have Ryan Newman, a driver who honestly continues to fly under the radar, but his consistency has always earned him some good finishes. He's a classic driver now. He's starting to get old, you know what I'm saying? He's one of those, he's starting to become that last generation of drivers with guys like Johnson and Jr. and Kenseth. You start to forget about Ryan Newman sometimes, and then there he is, just popping up in this black and yellow cat car. I just love the way it says cat, just big and in your face, cat. I even like on the back it says cat.com. Like, how did they get that domain name? You know what I'm saying? Cat.com. When you type in cat.com, you expect to find a bunch of funny cat videos playing with string. Little do you know, you're going to get a bunch of construction equipment or something. Now we have Kurt Busch's 41, and boy, this video is going on a really long time. I just have a lot of things to say, apparently. I like it more than last year's. Last year's was similar with the red and black, but this year they got the cool kind of streaks going across to transition from the red to the black. I'll close up a little bit more and hopefully it focuses so you can get a little bit of a better look at it. I like this car. He has his Monster Energy car as well, which I did not see for sale yet, but that is a really cool car. I might have to get that one when it comes out too. Next up is Jimmie Johnson's Lowe's Pro Services Chevrolet. I have Jimmie Johnson's Lowe's Chevy, and it really hasn't changed much from this year, but this is his Pro Services. The only real difference is that it says Pro Services there on the front, and it also says it on the side. So Jimmy's already won a couple races this year. One was in this scheme, and the other one, as y'all might know, is the Superman paint scheme, which honestly, I don't know if you've seen Batman vs. Superman. I saw it. It was a pretty good movie in my opinion, but I do like this car a lot. I was disappointed that it won a couple weeks ago. I mean, obviously I was rooting for Batman. I think most of y'all probably were too. I do not have Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Batman car yet, spoiler alert, but I'm hoping to get it soon. So I got Superman, don't have Batman yet. And last but certainly not least is everyone's favorite, or at least most people's favorite, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Nationwide Insurance Chevrolet. It's similar in a lot of ways to last year's, although last year's was more about the blue and white. This year it's basically blue on top, transitioning down to silver, like just straight silver on the side, which actually looks really cool. I liked this car a lot last year, and this one's not too much different, so I really like this one as well. The silver really, especially when you watch it in real races, when the sun hits and stuff, it's really cool looking. I sound like a total nerd when I say things like that. I was talking to my friend Mark today that y'all might know, and I was basically telling him how great all these cars look. I'm sure he was looking at me like I was a psychopath, but I nerd out about some things. We all do. So that's my video. Thank you all for watching. I gotta remember that WWE Cup Series Season 7 signups are this Tuesday, April 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So that's 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, and 4 p.m. Pacific. Totally blanked for a second there. I've gotten a lot of questions about time zones. Please Google it if you're not certain. I can't help all of you. I've gotten a lot of questions. I don't even know all the time zones. I know the US ones, so just try to figure it out best you can, and I hope to see you there. If you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at DECS Racing. Link will be in the description. And also, I'm not wearing it right now, but I also have those E Cup Series t-shirts that are now available. Link to those is also in the description as well. It'd be really awesome if y'all got some of those. They're pretty cool looking, so thank you all for doing that. I hope you look forward to the E Cup Series Season 7. I have a NASCAR Parody Season 2 finale coming out later this month that I need to start working on. If you look to your to the left here, I still have the remnants of the presidential debate parody sitting here. I still have Clint Boyer playing his solo until time runs out, apparently. So gonna have to get to work on that. So a lot of projects coming soon. I hope you all support them and continue to watch. Thank you all for liking and subscribing, and I will see you all later.